Imagine eating nothing but meat for 30 straight days. No fruits, no vegetables, no carbohydrates of any kind. It is an extreme biological challenge, heavily promoted online as a fast-track way to melt fat and cure stubborn autoimmune issues. Looking at the numbers, this protocol demands a severe macronutrient split: 70 to 75% fat, 25 to 30% protein, and a carbohydrate slice crushed down to less than 5%. The appeal of eating this way is that it acts as the ultimate elimination protocol. By stripping away every single plant, you completely remove potential plant-based antigens and anti-nutrients, like oxalates and phytates, that can irritate the gut. But surviving entirely on animal products forces the human body to completely rewire its metabolic baseline to stay alive. While that absolute dietary exclusion often provides rapid relief for joint pain and inflammation, running this specific metabolic software triggers a cascade of hidden systemic physiological costs, and over the course of a month, those costs begin to compound. In the first 7 days, the body registers that the carbohydrates are gone for good. To keep the lights on, the liver is forced to rapidly burn through its emergency energy reserves, known as glycogen. Watch glycogen storage. For every gram of glycogen, you hold 3 grams of water. When glycogen molecules break apart for fuel, that water floods out. But it doesn't leave alone. It drags critical electrolytes out with it, specifically sodium, potassium, and magnesium. Normally, the hormone insulin signals kidneys to hold sodium. In zero-carb environments, insulin flatlines. The kidneys physically lose their grip on sodium, leading to the intense muscle cramps and severe fatigue many dieters experience in the first week. That dramatic weight loss celebrated on day 4 is actually a massive, disruptive dehydration event. To compensate and maintain basic cellular function, dieters often must consume 15 to 20 times the normal daily intake just to stay upright. By week 2, the gastrointestinal tract has to adapt to an environment with exactly 0 grams of dietary fiber. Usually, gut bacteria ferment plant fiber into butyrate to feed the intestinal lining. Without fiber, the liver deploys a biological emergency workaround, producing ketones, specifically beta-hydroxybutyrate. These ketones step in to fuel the colonocytes, preventing the intestinal wall from literally starving. Downstream, however, a different organ is under intense pressure. A diet of 100% animal products generates an immense load of nitrogenous waste that the kidneys now have to filter out. This brings us to glomerular hyperfiltration. In this nephron diagram, you see the afferent arteriole, the entry pipe feeding the filtration system. To clear toxic waste, these arterioles physically widen through vasodilation. As blood rushes in, internal pressure spikes to force waste through. This flowchart maps out the long-term risk. Those continuously dilated arterioles create a vicious cycle. The elevated pressure forces the kidney to work in overdrive, driving continuous, microscopic damage to the delicate glomerular structures over time. A person might feel highly energized and focused on the outside, but their internal plumbing is quietly enduring significant wear and tear and promoting tissue fibrosis just to handle the daily protein load. Entering the final stretch of the 30 days, the body faces a secondary hurdle, the systemic depletion of stored micronutrients. A 2025 study maps the intake. Meters show B12 and zinc maxed, but thiamin, calcium, magnesium, and vitamin C face severe deficits. Meanwhile, heavy animal protein digestion drags blood chemistry acidic. Lacking plant alkali, the system enters uncompensated metabolic acidosis. By day 30, the initial honeymoon phase of gut relief is often eclipsed. The system is operating under chronic metabolic stress to process the protein, while running on severe micronutrient deficits. We can see exactly how this biological timeline plays out in the real world through Paul Saladino, a physician and the internet's most prominent advocate for the protocol, who wrote the Carnivore Code. After strict, long-term adherence to his own rules, Saladino reported a severe biological backlash. He developed heart palpitations, experienced major sleep disturbances, and watched his testosterone levels plummet. To stabilize his failing hormonal and physiological systems, he was forced to step away from absolute strictness and reintroduce carbohydrates, specifically fruit and raw honey, back into his daily meals. This reveals the true clinical utility of the carnivore diet. It functions highly effectively as an extreme, temporary elimination tool to quiet severe, unresolved autoimmune conditions. But humans are biologically omnivores. A 30-day meat-only diet can act as a radical gut reset. Sustaining human health over a lifetime, however, requires plant fibers to supply diverse vitamins, dietary alkali to protect the kidneys, and a broad spectrum of nutrients to survive.